Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning and a warm welcome to National Science Day Celebration 2026. Did you know National Science Day commemorates the discovery of Raman effect by Sir C.V. Raman in 1928, an achievement that earned him the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1930 and made him the first Asian Nobel laureate in science. The day highlights the significance of science in everyday life and aims to promote scientific temper among students and the public, emphasizing curiosity, rational thinking, and the role of science and technology in national development and problem solving. National Science Day reminds us that science is not just a subject, it's a way of thinking, questioning, and exploring the world around us. Before we proceed with today's program, let us pause for a moment of reflection and gratitude. To invoke blessings and positive energy, I invite the prayer team to lead us in prayer. I request everyone to kindly rise.
You are filled with compassion and mercy and grace. With your banner of love over me, I am longing to see you one day face to face and to be with you endlessly. Lord, how lovely you are to me. Lovely Lord, you are all to me. Lovely Lord, full of purity, worthy of honor and majesty. Lord, how lovely you are to me. Lord, how lovely you are to me. Lovely Lord, you are all to me. Lovely Lord, full of purity, worthy of honor and majesty. Lord, how lovely you are to me. Lord, how lovely you are to me.
Thank you to the prayer team for that serene and uplifting invocation. Your soulful rendition has truly set a positive and graceful tone for today's program. Science advances through the efforts of dedicated minds. And among them was our esteemed late Reverend Father Dr. Leo D'Souza, SJ, an accomplished research scientist whose work and commitment greatly enriched our community. On this special day, we fondly remember our beloved Reverend Father Dr. Leo D'Souza, SJ, whose dedication and passion for science have left a lasting impression on our institution and our hearts. To honor his memory and celebrate his legacy, we will now screen a memorial video. Let us observe this tribute with respect and gratitude.
D'Souza SJ was a giant in the world of bioscience research in India. His contributions were vast and varied, but his true focus was always simple: to use science for the betterment of the common man. His own journey in science began at St. Joseph's College, Tiruchirappalli, where he excelled, securing first rank in both his bachelor's and master's degrees in botany. In 1962, as part of his Jesuit formation, he was sent to Frankfurt, Germany. It was there that a chance meeting changed the course of his life. He met Professor Joseph Straub, the director of the Max Planck Institute of Plant Breeding and Research, who saw his potential and offered him a place to pursue a PhD. He joined the institute in Cologne after his ordination in 1967. At Cologne, he dedicated himself to the study of wheat, a crop vital to the world's food supply. His doctoral research explored the very conditions needed for the plant to reproduce. It was during this time that he worked alongside Dr. Ingo Potrykus, who would later become famous for developing golden rice. After his PhD, Dr. Leo continued his research in biochemistry at the University of Cologne. But his heart was always in India. In 1973, he returned with the mission to foster scientific research and education in his homeland. He took up a position as a lecturer in the botany department at St. Joseph's College. That same year, his vision gave birth to the Laboratory of Applied Biology. Laboratory of Applied Biology was shifted to St. Aloysius College as he took over as the principal of St. Aloysius College. Under his watchful guidance, it became one of the pioneer plant tissue culture labs in the country, one of the first of its kind. For him, the laboratory was not just a place of research, it was a place of purpose. He chose to work on plants that mattered to the people around him. He studied the coconut, a staple of life in the region, successfully growing new shoots from its embryo. He turned his attention to the cashew nut, a source of livelihood for so many in South Canara region. His lab achieved a remarkable first, producing the very first cashew plant grown through tissue culture that was successfully transferred to the soil. He was a mentor in the truest sense. He guided 9 students to their doctorates, each one exploring new frontiers. Together, they studied the medicinal tree turmeric, a plant under threat, and successfully reintroduced it to its natural forest home. They worked on the flame of the forest, the humble ragi or finger millet, and the curry leaf plant, finding ways to propagate them and ensure their survival. His students went on to become respected scientists themselves, a testament to his enduring legacy. His love for plants extended to the trees that graced the campus. Through his guidance, his students propagated the pride of India, the white bean, and the breadfruit tree, many of which still stand today, enriching the university grounds and serving as a living memory of his work. Over a career spanning more than 4 decades, his insights and discoveries filled over 80 scientific publications. He was not just a professor, he was a leader. He served as principal and rector of St. Aloysius College and was an influential member of numerous academic bodies at Mangalore University. His dedication to education was recognized by many prestigious institutions. Among the numerous accolades he received were the Eminent Educator Award from Aishe, New Delhi, and the Sandesha Vishesha Prashasti Award. The Jesuit Higher Education of South Asia, JHASA, honored Reverend Father Leo D'Souza S.J. with the prestigious award St. Peter Canisius Medal in recognition of his extraordinary service to Jesuit higher education, scientific innovation, and the faith that does justice in 2025. In his later years, his focus shifted to the environment, a growing concern for all of us. He studied the impact of deforestation on local communities and explored new frontiers like biofuel from algae and nutraceuticals, converting agricultural waste into clean energy, seaweeds for novel materials, and its active principle for pharma. at the end, he was working towards a more sustainable future. Reverend Dr. Leo D'Souza S.J. left us for his eternal abode on the 20th of January 2026. But his spirit lives on in the trees on the campus, in the research of his students, and in the countless lives he touched. He was a scientist, a teacher, a mentor, and a priest who spent his life planting seeds of knowledge for a better world.
Our heartfelt appreciation to the team who put together this touching memorial video. Your thoughtful effort has helped us relive cherished memories and honor a remarkable legacy. It is indeed a matter of great honor for us to have our distinguished guests among us today. I now request the conveners of today's program, Dr. Jyoti Miranda and Dr. Geeta Pinto, to escort our esteemed dignitaries to the stage. A warm welcome sets the tone for every successful event. To officially welcome our honored guests and students, I now invite our convener of today's program, Dr. Jyoti Miranda from the Department of Botany, School of Life Sciences, to deliver the welcome address.
Honorable Vice Chancellor, Reverend Dr. Praveen Martis S.J., respected Chief Guest, Professor Jayakar Bandari, Guest of Honor, Professor Vidya Shetty, dignitaries on the days, esteemed guests, dear colleagues and students. Very good morning to you all and a hearty welcome. It's a great pleasure to do this beautiful task of welcoming all of you to this National Science Day celebration. Women in Science, Catalyzing Vikasit Bharat has been declared as the theme of National Science Day 2026. This theme highlights the crucial role of women scientists in shaping India's scientific landscape, from aerospace to biotechnology, from engineering to healthcare and environmental conservation. It is a celebration of their achievements and a call for action to encourage more women to pursue careers in these fields. At the onset, I would like to welcome our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Reverend Dr. Praveen Martis S.J., who himself is an internationally renowned scientist and an academician who is ever supportive to us in conducting such programs. A warm welcome to you, Father. Our Pro-Vice Chancellor, Reverend Dr. Melvin Dicona S.J., who inspires us to take up various initiatives with his unwavering support and encouragement, is here with us. A cordial welcome to you, Father. I take this opportunity to welcome our chief guest, Professor Jayakara Bandari, Principal Professor of Botany at Dr. P. Dayananda Pai, P. Satish Pai, Government First Grade College, Car Street, Mangalore. We are proud to have Dr. Bandari with us today as our chief guest, who is also our alumnus. Hearty welcome to you, sir. I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Reverend Dr. Praveen Martis SJ, to welcome our chief guest, Professor Jayakar Bandari, with a sapling. We have with us as the guest of honor Professor Vidya Shetty, Professor, Department of Chemical Engineering, NITK Surathkal. We have had the pleasure of having Dr. Shetty as a resource person here on various occasions. A very warm welcome to you, Madam. I request our Pro Vice Chancellor, Reverend Dr. Melvin Dikona SJ, to offer a green welcome to the guest of honor, Professor Vidya Shetty. We have emissaries, Registrar of our university, Dr. Ronald Nazareth, who constantly guides and supports us to take up new ventures. Hearty welcome to you, sir. Our directors and deans who are present here with us have provided valuable advice, helping us shape and execute this program effectively. Dr. Asha Abraham, Director of LCRI Block, Dr. Aruna Kalkur, Director of Xavier Block, Dean School of Physical Sciences, Dr. Ruben Yes, Dean School of Engineering, Dr. Renita D'Souza, Dean School of Life Sciences. A cordial welcome to all of you. I welcome Dr. Geeta Pinto, co-convener of this program. I extend a hearty welcome to all the esteemed guests, my colleagues and students. Welcome you all once again.
Thank you, ma'am, for that warm and gracious address. A warm welcome to you as well. I now request the dignitaries to come forward to inaugurate the program. Respected dignitaries, esteemed guests, teachers, and dear students, as a part of the inauguration, we shall now water the sapling, symbolizing growth, knowledge, and nurturing the seeds of scientific curiosity. In a special scientific touch, sensors are installed in the soil which will monitor and provide the optimal condition to help this plant bloom, demonstrating how technology and nature can work together. I request our chief guest, along with the guest of honor and our Honorable Vice Chancellor, to water the plant and inaugurate the program. It is indeed a matter of great honor to have Professor M. Jayakar Bandari, Principal and Professor of Botany, Dr. P. Dayananda Pai and P. Satish Pai Government First Grade College, Karsheet, Mangaluru, with us today as our chief guest. To formally introduce him to this gathering, I now invite Dr. Renita D'Souza, Dean, School of Life Sciences, to the stage.
Good morning, everyone.
I'm delighted to introduce our chief guest for today, Professor Jayakar Bandari M., an alumnus of our institution, currently serving as principal and professor of botany at Dr. P. Dayananda Pai, P. Satisha Pai Government First Grade College, Car Street, Mangalore. Earlier, he has served as faculty of botany in St. Aloysius College, Mangalore, Government Arts and Science College, Karwar, and also in Office of Joint Director, Department of Collegiate Education, Mangalore, as Academic Special Officer. After an initial career in research as Junior Research Fellow and Senior Research Fellow of CSIR, DST, Government of India, he joined Department of Collegiate Education, Government of Karnataka, as lecturer in botany in 1996. Since then, he has gained about 30 years of teaching experience and has conducted extensive research on plant diversity and traditional ecological knowledge of coastal Karnataka region and published over 20 research papers in peer-reviewed journals, which have received about 789 citations in Google Scholar with the H index of 10 and over 300 citations in Scopus with the H index of 5. He has also authored books related to biology, botany, and environmental studies and communication skills, and translated a book on biodiversity written by the internationally known ecologist Professor Madhav Gadgil. In addition, he has published more than 150 popular science articles and delivered about 60 invited talks on various topics related to biodiversity and environmental issues. He has made a comprehensive documentation of floristic diversity of mangrove ecosystems of Karnataka and involved in various efforts for their conservation implemented by Karnataka Forest Department. Conservation of mangrove forest of Kali Island, Karwar, establishment of mangrove implementation and ecotourism center at Honavar Forest Division are some of the examples. A field guide to the mangroves of Kali Estuary, Karnataka, mangroves and birds of Honnavara Forest District are some of the supportive literature developed by him. Besides serving as a member in various academic bodies of autonomous colleges and universities, he was also the member of Karnataka State Biodiversity Board from 2016 to 2019 and the Western Ghats Task Force, Government of Karnataka from 2016 to 18. He is also a trained HRD facilitator and trainer. We are truly elated to have you amongst us, sir. Over to you.
Good morning to all of you. I said good morning to all of you. Yeah, that should be the energy. Respected Vice Chancellor of this great university, Reverend Dr. Praveen Martis SJ, Registrar Dr. Ronald Nazareth, and the guest of honor for the day, Professor Vidya Shetty Madam, all the dignitaries on the dais, members of teaching fraternity of this university, and dear students. I'm really excited. It's always a matter of pride and honor to enter the gates of St. Aloysius College earlier, now St. Aloysius University. Because whenever I enter into this great space, I was reminded of my days long back, 1987 to 1990, for a period of 3 years, where I was a graduate student here. Then for a very brief period of about 1 academic year, in the year 1993 to 94, where I was a faculty of botany, then Botany Department of St. Aloysius College. And when I look back, these 4 years were the most enriched years of my life as a person and my career as a teacher. In those 3 years, my future goals were set, my future path was decided. And in that 1 year of my experience as a teacher in this university, along with the then stalwarts, I learned what is it to be a teacher, which I am still carrying in my profession. And if I am standing today, that is because of these initial years of training as a student and as a teacher. So once again, with a great sense of gratitude, I remember the teachers and the institution. And the beginning of this program, there was a short video of Reverend Father Leo de Souza, whom I consider as one of the great teachers I have ever met in my career as a student. More than that, he was a very simple but inspiring personality. Now, if at all I have done some basic work in botany, now before that, if I have chosen botany as a field of studies for my higher education and for my career, now it's because of the initial inspiration provided by Father Leo de Souza, who was a teacher with a difference actually. And if I recollect, one visit to the laboratory of applied botany, applied biology then, it changed all my ideas of my life actually. So if I decided to go for a higher education in botany, it's because of that one visit when I was in my first year botany, BSc, that changed my life. I would say that's a turning point of my life. When I entered the botany lab of Father Leo, see then tissue culture was in its beginning. And tissue culture or the idea of growing plants in test tubes, it's something like, it's a magic actually for us. So when we saw plants growing in test tubes in the laboratory, it was like entering into a world of magic. And Father Leo was nothing less than a magician to all of us. So I decided, yes, this is what I wanted to do. So I pursued my MSc in botany. I became a teacher in botany. So once again, I remember Father Leo with honor and with respect. So with these words, let me come back to today's main agenda, that is celebration of National Science Day. As it was said in the beginning itself, all of you know that National Science Day is celebrated to honor the achievement of Sir C.V. Raman. In fact, many youngsters may confuse it for the birthday of C.V. Raman. It's not the birthday of C.V. Raman. It's the day his Nobel winning discovery, the Raman effect, was discovered actually, February 28th, 1928, if I'm not wrong. And from 1986 onwards, this event was celebrated as National Science Day to encourage the youth of the nation to develop a sense of scientific temperament and to find a career in science and also to contribute to development of science and the national development. And you know, every year National Science Day is celebrated with a focal theme, and this year's focal theme is Women in Science, catalyzing Vikasit Bharat. Now there are two things into that, women in science and catalyzing Vikasit Bharat. I take it for granted that you have an idea of what is this concept of Vikasit Bharat. Now Vikasit Bharat aims at developing India as a forward-looking nation, developed nation, self-sustaining nation by the year 2047. Now, if you have got any idea why 2047 has been chosen as the target year, that is the 100th year of our Indian independence, 1947 to 2047. So how to make the nation self-sustainable, self-reliant? So one of the method is to elevate ourselves in the area of science and technology, science and development. And development is resting on both social development, economic development, and environmental sustainability, and science, of course. Now, to fuel these developmental activities, all of us have to contribute. And science is also one of the engines to contribute to national development. And this year's theme is aligning with this moving forward mentality, wherein women in science have to catalyze this Vikasit Bharat concept. Now, if you recollect, there is also another alignment to this. Now, February 11th has been celebrated as the International Day of Women and Girls in Science. I don't know how many of you know this. And this year, the theme for this International Day of Women and Girls in Science is From Vision to Impact, Redefining STEM by Closing the Gender Gap. STEM is Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. So there is a gender gap in that, the contribution of men and women. It's not equal. So to fill this gap, from vision to impact. So to align with this international theme, this year's National Science Day theme is Women in Science. Okay. Now, if you seriously analyze this focal theme, now, if I look at the audience sitting here, majority of them are women, isn't it? I think more than 75% are women. Yes or no? So even in higher education, in many of the institutions, if you go back, the boys are the minorities. Okay? Girls are the majority. So why should we have to have separate themes, separate measures for encouraging women in science? Do we have to have it? I think the boys will have a serious objection to this, isn't it? Yes or no? Yes. No, they are even afraid to open their mouth in front of you. But the tragedy is, see, some survey says around 45% of our science graduates are women. Okay? But when you come to further higher up in the career steps, the proportion of women gradually decrease. And currently only 25% of the workforce in various scientific laboratories are women. So in SSLC, PUC, all the major ranks are backed by girls. In colleges, they are in majority. But gradually, the percentage comes down. Okay? So now the boys would agree that there should be some special measure to fill this gender gap, to increase the participation of women in science and technological activities. But there is a deeper dimension to this theme. See, now this theme does not only advocate participation of women in science and technology. Now, from participation stage, the women should come to a stage where they have to take leadership role. That is very important. See, now, if you visit many of the laboratories or institutions, women may be participating in science and technology activities. But how many women are in the leading stage, in the leadership role? So that is more important. So women have to come forward. They have to take leadership activities. They should lead the science and technology activities. So that is the major aim of this theme, declaring women in science, catalyzing Vikasit Bharat concept. So I urge all the girls sitting here, I think you all belong to various streams of science and technology, engineering, isn't it? Yeah. So you should think of continuing your education in the field of science and technology. Select research as a career. There are a lot of opportunities in scientific research as a career option. So space science, defense science, sustainability science, looking for sustainable energies. Now, all these things are coming up in a big way. Artificial intelligence. See, in our time, it was tissue culture and biotechnology, it was making news. Now it is artificial intelligence. A lot of opportunities in the area of artificial intelligence. Now we have to make science and technology humane, that is more important. So adding a human dimension to scientific developments. Now, we are all worried about artificial intelligence taking our jobs, taking our life, impacting negatively on the society. Now, you can take some serious note of all these things and try to contribute in these areas. And to end my today's discussion with you, now this concept is nothing new to St. Aloysius College, if I am not wrong. Because again, if I recollect my student days, I consider ours as the first batch with co-education. I think 1987, the doors of St. Aloysius were open to girls. Before to that, it was only a boys, 86, okay. So mine was the first or second batch. And I remember there were only 5 girls in my batch. We are 40, but only 5 girls. But earlier, the boys of St. Aloysius used to go to St. Agnes College. Now, these are the olden memories. So if at all girls like you sitting here, that's because of the great decision taken by the management of St. Aloysius then to admit girl students. And I remember Father Leo was the principal then. Okay. And another important contribution to science from St. Aloysius is the opportunities given to women to pursue their research in the laboratory of applied biology. So many of the persons who got their PhD from St. Aloysius Laboratory under Father Leo were women. I still remember persons like Professor Smita Hegde, I.C. De Silva, Kavita Kulkarni. See, we had the opportunity to interact with all these people as a student. Now, they were all made a mark in their chosen field. And that's because of the inspiration, encouragement, and opportunities provided by the Laboratory of Applied Biology of St. Aloysius College. So, St. Aloysius College is actually giving opportunities to girls, women, not only in education, but also in the field of science. So, it is doing its role of catalyzing the national development by providing opportunities to women in education and women in science. I wish this tradition continues, and down the line, maybe another 10 to 15 years from now, if some of you sitting here were able to make a mark in the area of science and technology, maybe scientists working in some of the institutions or in some of the laboratories as team leaders, or some of the startup innovators, I think the purpose of declaring this year's National Science Day is successful. So once again, thanking all the organizers for inviting me for this great day. I conclude my talk. Once again, thanks to all of you and all the best.
On behalf of all present here, I would like to express my profound gratitude for your remarkable and visionary speech and your special emphasis on position of women in STEM and why it's the need of the hour. Your words have not just elevated the spirit of this gathering, but has also inspired us to strive for excellence. The true spirit of any competition lies in learning, perseverance, and striving for excellence. We now celebrate the spirit through the prize distribution ceremony. This is the time to recognize and honor the hard work, talent, and dedication of our students who have excelled in various competitions and activities organized as a part of National Science Day celebrations. I now request Ms. Divya Deepthi Montero from the Department of Chemistry to announce the prize winners list.
A very good morning to one and all gathered here. On this special occasion of National Science Day, we come together not only to celebrate science, but also to celebrate the brilliant minds among us. The competitions conducted as a spirit of celebrations truly reflected creativity, innovation, teamwork, and scientific spirit. May I now request Chief Guest of today's program, Professor Jayakara Bandari, to give away the prizes. I also request students to come from my right and leave the stage from left. Quiz competition. The second place goes to Deeksha and Manav Pranesh, second BSc. Kindly applaud. The first place goes to Deeksha and Shravya Sanjana, third BSc. Reel making competition. The second place goes to Sean Lobo and Sweden Noronna, first BSc. The first place goes to Shreyas S. Putran, third BSc, and Aman Yadav, second BSc. Essay competition under English category. The second place goes to Rachel Maria Pius, first BSc. The first place goes to Roshni Riola Lobo, second BSc. Essay competition under Kannada category. The second place goes to Taufika, first BSc. And the first place goes to Dhanraj, second BSc. Under the School of Engineering, in the engineering competition, Solvex solution to a daily problem, the second place goes to Chinmay Krishna U, Devin Krasta, and Tanish Arun Salyan. And the first place goes to Vashishta N and Siddhant S. Malya. We shall now honor the students who successfully completed the Science Academic Summer Research Fellowship at prestigious national institutes. This achievement reflects their dedication to research and academic excellence. I request the following students to please come forward to receive their certificates. Rinisha Pinto, 3rd BSc, did a research project at BITS Pilani, Hyderabad. Satana, 3rd BSc, did a research project at Physical Research Laboratory, Ahmedabad. Aishwarya Siri Siddesh, 3rd BSc, did a research project at Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur. Shika Arun, 3rd BSc, did a research project at Rajendra Memorial Research Institute of Medical Sciences, Patna. And lastly, we have Vandan John Rustina, 3rd BSc, did a research project at Indian Institute of Technology, Hyderabad. We also have another award, that is for Microbiological Society of Indian Best Student Award, a prestigious recognition given to an outstanding undergraduate student in microbiology for academic excellence, research, and active participation in extracurricular activities. The St. Aloysius Microbiological Society of India Best Student Award goes to Ms. Nikita Pai of 3rd BSc Microbiology. May I now request Mr. Tenzin Jose to announce the awards of School of Engineering.
Good morning, everyone. Today, on National Science Day, we celebrate remarkable engineering students whose academic excellence and active participation in extracurricular activities reflect true leadership, dedication, and scientific spirit. It is an honor to present these awards to students who truly represent the future of engineering. We proudly present Trailblazer Award from each engineering stream. May I now request our guest of honor, Professor Vidya Shetty, to join to do honor. From the Computer Science Engineering, the award goes to Ms. Moksha R. Ullal and Mr. Aaron Kenneth D'Souza. From the Department of Computer Science and Artificial Intelligence, the award goes to Mr. Sheikh Mohammad Ahil. From the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, award goes to Ms. Giselle Voss and Mr. Chinmaya Krishna Yu. From the Department of Information Science, award goes to Ms. Anam Maimuna and Mr. Tejas Jagdish. Congratulations to all the awardees and best wishes for their future achievements. Thank you. Let us continue to celebrate curiosity, creativity, and discovery. Thank you.
Thank you to all the dignitaries for doing the honors. We now have with us Professor Vidya Shetty K, Professor, Department of Chemical Engineering, NITK Surathkal, as our guest of honor for today's program. I now call upon Dr. Reuben, Dean, School of Engineering, to the dais to introduce our distinguished guest of honor.
Distinguished guests, faculty members, and students, in this National Science Day celebration of our university, I'm extremely delighted to introduce the guest of honor for this day. Professor Vidya Shetty K is a professor of chemical engineering at NITK. She has held various positions such as the Dean Academics, Associate Dean Academics, and the head of the department. With her global exposure, she has been a visiting researcher at Arizona State University, US, Rice University, US, Kyangki University, South Korea, and the University of Alberta, Canada. Her research interests lie in providing greener, sustainable, and potentially cheaper biotechnological and nanotechnological-based engineering solutions to mitigate environmental pollution. Professor Vidya has published over 100 papers in international peer-reviewed journals and conference proceedings, and she has 17 book chapters to her credit. Apart from this, she has also edited 2 books with reputed publishers like Elsevier and Springer. She has also guided 12 students for PhD and has 2 Indian patents that's granted. She was also conferred the prestigious Professor Satish Dhawan Young Engineer State Award in 2018 by the Government of Karnataka in recognition to her contributions to the field of engineering sciences. She is also the recipient of the Young Engineer Award 2018 by the Institution of Engineers, Mangalore. The Indian Institute of Chemical Engineers Kumar Mitra Memorial Award and the NRC Award for Best Paper that was published in the Indian Chemical Engineer Journal in 2022 and 2023. She has also received DST and CSIR Aspire project grants under MHRD sponsored program. Professor Vidya was very much instrumental in developing a virtual laboratory in chemical engineering, which can be accessed online and can be used by several chemical engineering faculty and students globally. We truly have with us a woman scientist who is contributing and inspiring students and faculties this morning. Professor Vidya, may I hereby request you to kindly address us in this great occasion. It's truly an honor to have you with us, and everyone gathered here, please join me in welcoming ma'am with a thunderous round of applause.
Respected Reverend Dr. Praveen Martis, Dr. Ronald Nazareth, Dr. Asha, Dr. Aruna, Dr. Anita D'Souza, Dr. Ruben, and the conveners of today's program, Dr. Jyoti, Dr. Geeta, faculty, staff, and dear students over here, a very good morning to all of you. It's a privilege to me to join you on this occasion of National Science Day celebrations. When Dr. Geeta called me and asked me to join this occasion, I asked her about the details, what shall I speak? She said, the theme of this National Day is Women in Science Catalyzing Viksit Bharat. So please share your success story, she said. Success is very relative. I do not know. But of course, I can share my life story, probably, which can motivate maybe my young friends over here. So before going to that, let me tell something about science, because this is a science day. You know, today why the National Science Day is celebrated, every one of us know it is to commemorate the discovery of Raman effect by Sir C.V. Raman. See, many of us, researchers, even renowned researchers, always crib, we do not have proper facilities to do research and things like that. Lack of facilities as a reason for not doing or not contributing. But we all know from where this Raman effect came from. Sir C.V. Raman was aboard a ship traveling from London, and he observed the deep blue color of this sea, Mediterranean Sea, and then with some small equipment, a pocket spectrometer and a prism and some calculations, he challenged the theory that sea reflected the sky light, and he put forth the theory that it is the scattering of light by water molecules. And that led to a Nobel Prize and very simple instruments which he used, and such a great theory which won Nobel Prize. So we have to think twice before we crib. You know, we have a very sophisticated, we are equipped with a very sophisticated equipment or instrument, I can say, which is a human brain, a natural intelligence, and nothing is beyond that. Of course, now it can be challenged by artificial intelligence, but just artificial intelligence cannot do anything. We need physical systems for us to live in this world. And that can come only from human brains, that can be discovered or invented through human brains. Of course, the path can be simplified probably with artificial intelligence. So this is about science I want to say. Of course, coming to this year's theme, that is Women in Science Catalyzing Vikasit Bharat, as Professor Jayakar Bandari said, that it is to fulfill the national mission of having a developed and technologically advanced and sustainable nation. How, as women, I'm very happy to see here so many girl students. You know, girls outnumber here boys, which is rare in my institution, my parent institution, that is NITK. It's only 20 to 25% girls there, and 20% at undergraduate level, with lot of effort from the government. You know, there are some supernumerary, quota and all that is put. And because of that, so it is very rare. So, you know, some kind of, even now, though now engineering is not unconventional, it's very conventional, but still it is, the number of girls is very less there. So why, as my colleague Dr. Bandari said, see, there is enrollment. You know, see, if you see the gross enrollment, it is 98% at the primary level. And as it moves forward, it becomes around 48% at higher education level. Then when we come to STEM, it is only 41%. But when it comes to STEM workforce, it becomes around 27% and around 14 to 18% when it comes to leadership positions and high impact research career. So this is where the intervention is needed. Why this is happening? Something called, they call it as leaky pipeline. You know, that is a transition of a woman from education to the leadership. There are lot of loss, or there are drops at every stage. Why this is happening? There are maybe, you know, we know already women are there, they are contributing, all these things are happening. We have live examples of Tessie Thomas and things like that. But the role models are very few. Very few. We need lot of role models, because we have to see somebody and learn. That is very important, right? Then only that confidence can come. Okay, I can also do. It's possible. So there the intervention is needed. When I see, even if we talk about, we get, for whenever there is a selection for faculty recruitment, lot many applications come. Thousands of applications come, and it goes to individual department, and there is a screening which happens. Then I see there are several applications from women candidates as well. But see, for any selection, there is some shortlisting. It has lot many criteria. One is PhD is a mandate, but apart from that, there are lot many criteria like a postdoctoral, post-PhD publications, post-PhD patent. All these are looked into. And there the women fail. It is a post-PhD. Why? Because Soon after PhD, see, with the great difficulty, they convinced their family and parents to come up to PhD, complete that PhD. But they can't wait anymore. At that stage, just after completion, they have to go into a family way. So there they will have some at least 2 to 3 years of break soon after their PhD, where they cannot contribute, whereas their men counterpart contribute at that particular time as well. So they'll have patents or they'll have publications at that time as well, which many women will not have. So outrightly their application gets rejected there. That is a concern. And they're very, very good candidates. If you see their PhD journey, they would have contributed very well during the PhD journey, but it's a post-PhD which is making a difference. So this is a real concern. I felt very bad. We had to reject many. And, rules do not permit. I individually, or anybody will not have any say there. So this is what happens. So what can be done in this particular situation? See, it comes from taking, first thing, there are internal conflict within us, within our heart. Sorry if I am addressing women here, but I feel I was called for that. So that is why I'm talking like this. There is an internal conflict within us. External is the next part. Internal conflict. Guilty, which is a major thing. I can tell you something. Some two small stories I'll just tell. It's from my life. Just to motivate. It's nothing like a great thing or something like that. Many more would have experienced that or something like that in a different way. When I took up engineering, it was at that time, 40 years back, it was not so conventional for women. And it was a vision of another woman, which is my mother. Being a single parent, I lost my father in a very early age. Being a single parent, she supported my dream at every go. So when it was not very, conventional, as I said, I got a seat, even when I was some second batch of CET or something like that. So then we had to fill up, information is not as easy as, now. Now you have everything on your fingertips. That time it is not like that. Now parents and students come with all research, which college is good, what is the package, what's the average package, what's the median package, what is the highest package, everything they come. That time it was not. So even we do not know that, and I was the first one in my entire family, from even including the extended family, to aspiring for a professional course even. Leave about engineering, even for a professional course. So there was nobody to guide. Then my mother used to take me to so many people, to help. Like she used to take me to somebody, friend, relative, and all to fill the form. Because we have to give choices and we do not know which is good, which is bad. No idea. So that is how it was, the situation was. And I got, of course, here there were very few colleges where I could pursue engineering at that point of time. I got in Bangalore, and when my mother, at least she dared enough to, send me there at that point of time, where I had to stay in a hostel and do my engineering. Okay, doing engineering is one part. When I completed, passed out and came, then the real challenges. I have done my chemical engineering, and this manufacturing sector, chemical sector, there it's like, at that time there was a law. Factories law will not allow women to be there in the industry from, 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. morning. And all these manufacturing industries work on, 24/7. They're all continuous processes. So night shifts are mandatory there. And they cannot keep women for night shift. So that is why they don't take. So they don't hardly say that women are not allowed. Like, of course, you know, Sudha Murthy's story where the Tata, the advertisement said that women are not allowed, then she fought. But they do not say, at least during my time, they do not say women are not to apply. It was like, it was happening. Everything was happening from behind. So you go, you write the test, you get through the test, get through the group discussion, get through the technical interview, and in the personal interview, you are not selected. And that is because of this reason. They may have their own, problems. Then, of course, I did my master's and I took up career in academics. No regrets at all. I'm very, very happy. Probably, that was always there in me as a teacher from the childhood. I had that. So I'm very happy with that. So I joined. So what I'm telling you is that there are circumstances which are not favoring probably. So maybe we have to come up into that. And second, another thing I would tell, when I was doing my PhD, my son was probably around 5 to 8 years age. He was small. And at that age, they want to tell everything they see around. They want to, whatever they see, they want to share with mother. They want to come and talk and things like that. He used to do that. And when we do this, research all the time, we'll be thinking, oh, why this trend is like that? Why this trend is like this? So our mind on the back is working on something else. And probably I was sitting with him, but still I was not with him. And one day he said, Mama, can you please sit for 10 minutes and speak to me continuously? This was like, like pushing me from a highest of the mountains down. I felt so very guilty at that time. So these are the kind of things we have to come across. And somehow, anyway, I completed that PhD. And when I took up my HOD-ship, it was a 3-year tenure. I completed 2 years, and HOD-ship, everybody knows, people who have been there. So how much of the things you have to put. And I completed 2 years when my son entered his 12th. And it was like, I was feeling very like, okay, I'm not able to be with him. Probably I'm not doing much for him. This kind of guilt, it is coming with it. Maybe probably women are like that by nature, or our social, system is like that. So I used to feel I'm not doing much. See, every mother is doing, I'm not doing probably, I'm concentrating on this. So I'm doing a great injustice to my son. And I was feeling like this. And one day I decided, no. When his mark falls down by 3, 4, 5 marks, I feel it's me who is responsible for that. I may be stupid, but still I used to feel that. And then one day I thought, no, I'll quit this HOD-ship. So I discussed with my senior colleague, who's also my PhD mentor, a great personality. Some of the best advisors came from men to me. So it's not that women means only women will help. Best advisors came from men. So he told me, Vidya, do you think by leaving you will be able to do something? Will you sit with him and teach? Will you be able to do that? Will you be able to change the situation? I don't think this is the reason why something is happening. So no, you continue, he said. And I continued, and everything went on fine. My son also did well qualified. He has started his own industry now. So it's all, at that time, if I had left, probably the story would have been different. I don't know. So it's not, that guilt is there, that guilt we have to come across. That internal conflict first we have to fight. External is a later thing. Okay, we say we are not getting any opportunities like men and this. Those are all secondary. The first one is this, the internal conflict. And the second, when we have to go into these kind of things, maybe probably research or leadership roles, and things like that, we have to create a proper social ecosystem and a support system. So that is what is important. That support system has to be created. It may not come by itself. So that is also one of the important thing. And also, I feel that we have to have, contribute. If we have to contribute to science or to the nation building, then it is important that we fault ourselves, create a good social ecosystem, and try to motivate others, influence others with our, with our work. It need not be always with words. It may be with action. Action, that is very important. And also keep, a good health. Care about our health, because I see, I have guided, whatever PhD students I've guided, all of them are girls. It was incidentally it happened. It was not any, purposeful or something like that. But I do like working with them, being with them, young girls. But most of them have these, some kind of health issues, even at young age. So at every phase of woman's life, there are several, things which happens. Okay, it may be when young age and middle age or old age. Every age they have their own issues with the health, physical fitness and things like that, which we have to keep, always proper and care about that. That is also very, very important. Yeah, I had written something. I'm just forgetting. Anyway, so this is what we have to do. So contribute to nation building and make, one is also self-confidence. That is also a self-doubt. We should overcome that self-doubt also, whether I can do. Everything can be done. There is nothing which cannot be done. So that self-confidence should be there. That is very important, and need some mentors and advisors. It need not be women always. It can be men also. Okay, so this is very, very important, and we need, so the nation's drive must be to create more of role models. That is very important. Role models are to be there, and it is always, to motivate young girls. So to the young girls over here, my urge is, please do not stop aspiring. Keep aspiring, new dreams. Okay, and these aspirations only will take you forward in both the ways, in your personal as well as professional way. And there is nothing which cannot be done. It can be done. Only that confidence is required and that hard work to do. Because see, women inherently, they have certain qualities. Why they say that there should be a diversity and things like that in leadership? Why? Because each one men have their own set of qualities and women have their own set of qualities, which will contribute always, okay? So that holistic development is possible of the nation. So like women, curiosity, observation, these are some inherent qualities of women. Like, 1 second is enough for a woman to find which jewelry the other woman is wearing, what, and they'll remember that also throughout their life, which sari she is wearing. These are some small things, but these things can help in, science as well, in research, so that keenness, curiosity, observation, perseverance, okay? So all the patience, holistic, thinking. So these are some of the qualities. So those qualities are to be encashed to move forward. And this is my humble urge to all of you. Please do not stop at your education. When you may get masters, PhD and all. Move forward, contribute to the nation, and join the main workforce and be, together, united, let us build a very healthier nation. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Ma'am, your address was both motivating and thought-provoking. The experiences and perspectives you've shared have left a lasting impression on all of us. Thank you, ma'am. Every successful institution stands firm on the pillars of strong leadership and effective administration. On this significant occasion, it would be an honor to hear your thoughts and reflections, sir. I respectfully invite Dr. Ronald Nasrith, Registrar, St. Aloysius Teamtubby University, to come forward and deliver his remarks.
President of the function and the Honorable Vice Chancellor of the University, Reverend Dr. Praveen Martis, Pro Vice Chancellor, Reverend Dr. Melvin Dikunna, the Chief Guest of the Day, Professor Jayakar Bandari, Guest of Honor, Professor Vidya Shetty, officials of the University, faculty members, and their students. Warm greetings to you all on the National Science Day. And National Science Day at this university has a special meaning this year, where earlier years we used to celebrate here only with science departments. Whereas this year, it is the technology department is also started at our university. So we have joined together to celebrate this National Science Day. Let this be an opportunity for us to collaborate together, work together, bring out some innovative ideas, and collectively we can grow together towards innovation. Dear friends, when we talk about National Science Day at our university, that has a special meaning. Way back in 1920s, where science education at higher education level was not that familiar, it is this institute started science at higher education level. And we had the departments, the pioneers in education, department like physics, chemistry, mathematics, botany, zoology, we have seen stalwarts. And not only they were stalwarts in their field, people from different regions used to come here to the institute asking for guidance, to collaborating for their projects and contributions. And earlier we saw the wonderful video of Reverend Father Leo, where higher education and research was not an integral part, but he took research as an integral part of higher education and cultivated the science here, the research here at our university. And later stage, when new field emerged, like the electronics, biotechnology, biochemistry, food science, microbiology. It is this university or institute started this program in the beginning. And therefore, this university, the institute has a culture of nurturing the science at every level. And when we became university in the recent past, you only have witnessed how exactly we have transitioned into a research-cultured university with the vision, direction, and priorities which are given by Honorable Vice Chancellor. We have today state-of-the-art facility for science research. Last time when NAC team visited our institute, the chairman of the NAC team came on this forum. And he was expressing so clearly that he has not seen an institute giving priority for research and having the state-of-the-art facility throughout India among autonomous colleges. He went on record at that particular time. And that is the type of culture priorities are given by the visionaries here, the management here in this institution. And therefore, as I said earlier, when we celebrate National Science Day at University, that has a deeper meaning and deeper calling. Having wonderful legacy, having so many opportunities, infrastructure and ecosystem, as students, we have a greater responsibility. And therefore, we have to meet up to that expectations, how exactly this culture which has developed. Therefore, I want to highlight quick 3 points what exactly we can do as a student. First part is having the curiosity for learning. Most of the time, we believe that whatever information given to us is enough and we take it together and carry forward. If when the apple fell on the head of Newton, if he was to take that apple and straight away go and eat, we probably would not have had this theory of the gravity theory. And therefore, it inspires us, it should inspire us sometime to ask questions. The curious about. When we go to the laboratories, we should ask questions. Majority of the time, we are happy in getting the right results. We should be happy more when we do not get the results. But many a time, instead of getting a pink color, we get a brown precipitate. We are too unhappy that our friends are leaving the classroom or the lab. We cannot go with them. Instead of thinking, why exactly this precipitate? What happened there? That type of curious question and troubleshooting goes, definitely there is a purpose then. And that takes me to the second point. In order to ask this question, we need to have in-depth knowledge of the subject. We should have a passion for learning, but that too, majority of the time, our learning goes only towards the exam-oriented learning or learning which happens in the classroom. In realistic sense, the learning has to happen beyond the classroom, beyond the examination, maybe spending time in the library, maybe spending more time in the laboratories. There the real learning has to happen, and therefore it is the in-depth knowledge meets with passion, meets with creativity. We talk, that is the research. And that research should solve the problems of tomorrow. And that takes me to the third point. In order to have the solution for tomorrow's problem, we should have a power of imagination. We should imagine what exactly will happen tomorrow. What are the challenges which you come across tomorrow? Wright brothers, when the birds were flying, they imagined people flying, they imagine object flying, and we have the aeroplanes today. And when we were having these phones, button phones earlier, it is that T.A. Johnson felt that touch screen would work, and its imagination, today we are enjoying this touch screen. Therefore, problems of tomorrow will be the result of our imagination, and therefore we should believe in the power of imagination. Recently, when Ambassador of Spain visited our institution, he was referring that in future, roads constructing will be a challenge. Definitely in some part of the country or some part of the world where terrain doesn't support. He was referring the imagination of the next generation where the small the transport systems, the occupants, that objects which fly and take an aerial route and reach to the destination. Definitely it will be a result. And that is the power of imagination. You people traveling from different parts, maybe from Surathkal to Mangalore, in a small spacecraft, traveling here, landing here, may not happen in our generation, but definitely when it comes to your generation, it should happen. And this type of power of imagination, when we cultivate, definitely we can solve the problems of tomorrow. I invite you all, think in this direction and congratulate the Department of Physical Science, Life Sciences and Engineering, who have come together to bring this type of culture at St. Aloysius, and let the Science Day bring in that type of creativity or curiosity to ask questions, and that type of passion to go deeper and deeper into a subject, and that type of power of imagination which may solve our problems of tomorrow. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words and for sharing your valuable insights with us. We are honored by your presence and deeply thankful for your constant guidance and support. As we fondly remember Reverend Dr. Leo D'Souza, we have with us Dr. Shashi Kiran Nivas, Research Coordinator at the Laboratory of Applied Biology, St. Aloysius, Deemed University, Mangaluru. Ma'am has collaborated closely with Father Leo for nearly 3 decades. I now invite Ma'am to share her insights.
Good morning. Thank you. Honorable Vice Chancellor, respected dignitaries, esteemed colleagues, students, and friends. Celebrating National Science Day, honoring the Nobel Prize-winning discovery of Sir C.V. Raman. It's especially poignant then that as we celebrate a luminary of global science, we also bow our heads in tribute to a towering light from our own academic community. The internationally renowned late Reverend Dr. Leo D'Souza, whose passing has left a profound void, yet whose legacy continues to illuminate our path. Today, we not only remember but also reflect upon the extraordinary life and enduring legacy of Dr. Leo D'Souza, a man of remarkable intellect and quiet spiritual depth. He was a gentle yet exacting mentor who shaped minds with patience and unwavering dedication. Although his life was rich in many facets, as a priest, administrator, scientist, scholar, today I wish to dwell in particular on Father Leo's work ethic and guiding principles that shaped his laboratory and its pursuits. For it was there, amidst microscopes, cultures, notebooks, and careful experimentation, that his spirit shone most luminously. The laboratory was not simply a workplace, it was a sanctuary for inquiry, a forge of discipline, and a cradle of dreams where he nurtured young scientists, instilling in them not only rigor and excellence, but also integrity, humility, and reverence for knowledge. In that sacred space of science and mentorship, generations found courage and purpose, and it was there that his living legacy continues to breathe. Dr. D'Souza's academic contributions are evident in his establishment of a tissue culture laboratory at an undergraduate degree college in Mangalore. What made this laboratory truly remarkable was not just the equipment or the technology. It was the manner in which it was built and nurtured. Dr. Leo personally involved himself in setting up the laboratory from the ground up. He did not remain a distant administrator. He was physically present, demonstrating how a laboratory must function. He would show students and staff how to wash and dry glassware. He would inspect the floors to ensure absolute cleanliness. He demonstrated correct autoclaving procedures, proper handling of instruments, and the importance of maintaining aseptic conditions at every stage. He believed that a laboratory was not merely a room with equipment, it was a culture of precision. Clean benches, properly labeled media bottles, correctly stored reagents, systematic record keeping, and disciplined movement within the sterile areas were all a part of scientific ethics. By physically engaging in these foundational practices, he communicated a powerful message. No task in science is too small to merit attention. He was credited with several pioneering first reports and research on socially relevant topics, as we have just had the privilege of witnessing a video presentation. By introducing new technology at the undergraduate level, Dr. D'Souza democratized scientific access and redefined the possibilities of undergraduate education. He often emphasized that success in science lies not only in results, but in understanding the process. A failed experiment was never dismissed. It was examined. Contamination was not an embarrassment. It was a lesson. Equally remarkable was the spirit with which progress, however small, was acknowledged. In the early stages of tissue culture work, results are often simple and visual. A slight swelling of an explant, the first emergence of callus, a tiny green shoot appearing against sterile media. In many laboratories, such modest beginnings pass unnoticed, but not in his laboratory. Every small breakthrough was celebrated during laboratory meetings. These meetings were not merely reporting sessions, but they were collective reflections. Successes and failures were discussed openly. Problems were analyzed without fear. Solutions were sought not individually, but collaboratively. The work was never described as my experiment or your experiment. It was always our lab's work. Each member was encouraged to offer suggestions, even on projects not directly their own. Ideas were welcomed and appreciated, never dismissed as trivial or frivolous. No question was too simple, no observation too minor. In that space, intellectual humility and collective ownership flourished. The laboratory became not only a research facility, but a community of inquiry. On one occasion, after repeated contamination, he reportedly remarked with gentle humor, "The microorganisms are persistent teachers. They remind us to respect detail." His sense of humor was subtle. It created warmth without diminishing seriousness. This methodological rigor and collaborative spirit reflected the clarity of his scientific mind and the generosity of his leadership. However, Dr. D'Souza's contribution extended far beyond laboratory work. He was deeply committed to expanding opportunities to students from underprivileged backgrounds. He understood that talent is universal, but access is often unequal. By situating advanced scientific facilities within an undergraduate college, he lowered the barriers and enabled students from modest circumstances to participate in meaningful research. He treated every student, regardless of background, with dignity and high expectations. He did not dilute standards. He instead elevated students to meet them. Equally noteworthy was the culture of respect he cultivated within his academic environment. Hierarchies did not define interactions in his laboratory. Contributions were acknowledged. Effort was recognized. Ideas were evaluated thoughtfully. He respected technicians, assistants, junior scholars, senior colleagues alike. Beyond the realm of science, he nurtured a deep, discerning love for art and photography. True to his nature, he approached art with the same analytical rigor that defined his scientific work. He did not simply admire art, he illuminated it by explaining technique, structural composition, and the historical content. Through his insights, he enabled others to recognize that art, much like science, demands discipline, precision, and vision. This harmonious outlook was especially evident during the refurbishment of the chapel paintings, where he took profound interest and offered thoughtful guidance. Likewise, he remained closely involved in the museum renovation, carefully overseeing each stage of the resetting with the characteristic dedication and care. Adding further dimension to his personality was his mastery of numerous languages, both spoken and written. Language for him was a means of intellectual bridge building. Yet perhaps the deepest foundation of his life was his spirituality. Father Leo was deeply spiritual and a true Jesuit in the fullest sense of the word. These principles were clearly reflected in his academic and personal life. His faith did not narrow his worldview, it expanded it. He respected all religions and engaged with people of different beliefs with openness and dignity. His spirituality manifested not in exclusivity, but in inclusiveness. It informed his compassion, his patience, and his unwavering commitment to education as a form of service. For him, science and faith were not contradictory pursuits. They were complementary paths towards truth and understanding. He embodied the Jesuit ideal of being a person for others. His true impact lies in the generations of students he mentored. He demonstrated that one individual guided by conviction and discipline can transform an academic space. He showed that excellence does not require privilege, it requires commitment. He proved that science can be both rigorous and compassionate. Although he is no longer physically with us, his legacy lives in the laboratory he founded, in the students he influenced, and the values he demonstrated. As we remember him today, may we honor him not in words but in practice, by expanding opportunity, upholding rigor, respecting every contributor, and approaching our work with both integrity and humility. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your valuable insights and experiences with us. It gives me immense pleasure to now introduce our esteemed Vice Chancellor, Reverend Dr. Praveen Martis, SG, whose visionary leadership has been instrumental in guiding our institution towards academic excellence and innovation. With great honor, I now invite our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Reverend Dr. Praveen Martis, SJ, to deliver the presidential remarks.
Respected Professor M. Jayakara Bandari, the chief guest of today's National Science Day, Professor Vidya Shetty, the guest of honor, Reverend Dr. Melvin Dikuna, the Pro-Vice Chancellor, Dr. Ronald Nazareth, the registrar, and all the dignitaries on the days and off the days, and my dear students and all the friends who are here. We are today celebrating National Science Day. It's a day to be celebrated at St. Aloysius because of the encouragement that St. Aloysius has given to the field of science from almost 100 years now. As Dr. Ronald Nazareth put it across beautifully, from 1920 onwards, we have been having the departments of science here when many did not even think of having it, and we have supported at St. Aloysius. And we have seen the legacy of Father Leo, who is no more with us, but then we always remember for his encouragement, his dedication, and also support to the field of science and also research, which also our chief guest, Professor Jayakara Bandari, has witnessed it and also has spoken today. And Dr. Sashikiran also has mentioned it beautifully, the note of his legacy here at St. Aloysius and his extraordinary life. We are all inspired by that. And today we are celebrating National Science Day. The theme is Women in Science, and also catalyzing the Vikasit Bharat. How we can really support science is definitely, it is a commemoration of Sir C.V. Raman, the great scientist, the Nobel laureate who supported science and encouraged and inspired many of us. You know, the words that he said, in spite of all his great achievements, he said, I am the master of my failure. If I never failed, how will I learn in my life? These are the words spoken by C.V. Raman. Today, we are afraid, we are frightened of failure. The FAIL, which says first attempt in learning. That is how Dr. Abdul Kalam inspired the people to say that do not worry about failing out. Today we are talking about as Gen Z's FOMO, the FOMO, that is a famous word that we say, the fear of missing out. Many of us are frightened because of the social media and many other things, because once you make a mistake, there is no way to come back. And that kind of a fear is not allowing us to move forward, unfortunately. And you must always take encouragement and inspiration from these great personalities like Sir C.V. Raman. How they took these kind of failures as part of their success. And we have got great men here, great scientists here, great women who are supported. We have got both Professor Jayakar Bandari, who has done so much in the field of science, and also Professor Vidya Shetty. We must definitely thank you for sharing your wonderful story. I'm sure it has inspired all of us. At those times, and you and your mother took that step and moved forward, and your presence itself is a message for all of us today when we are celebrating this National Science Day as Women in Science. You're a great personality who inspired all of us here to take, I'm sure the women here will understand the difficulties and also the way you put it across as gender should not become difficulty, rather it should actually complement. It should always integrate in the field of science how the men would see the science and how the women would see because of our own nature and also the way we can take it forward. That's why Professor C.N.R. Rao had come here. He always said that we should not work in silos. We should always work together, and interdisciplines should come together and also work together for science. Then only we can progress in the field of science. I think that is where we need to take it forward on this National Science Day. Earlier we had only physical sciences and life sciences. This year we have also joined with School of Engineering and Technology, and they are also part of it, and a lot of innovation that is happening in the field of science today. And we are talking about human brain and also AI. Professor Jayakar Bandari put it across beautifully about the humanization. Now we are talking about Education 5.0 is all about humanization of technology. How we integrate the technology to the human life and to see how we can solve a problem. We should have the curiosity, we should have the creativity. Also, we should say that we need to solve a problem. To solve a problem, first of all, we need to identify the problem and what way we can imaginatively solve that problem. So these kind of difficulties, not only now, we had also about 100 years ago. There was Max Planck, was a great scientist. When he wanted to do his master's in physics, his professors told him, whatever has to be discovered in physics already has been discovered. What is the point in doing your master's? Then imagine, he took that courageously, and he was the one who really came out with so many discoveries in quantum physics and quantum science. Today, you're talking about quantum computing. They're talking about gravitational waves. These are all recent discoveries and recent thinking that has come into the field of science. How do we really put these kind of thoughts? That means there is so much to be discovered. And unfortunately, in our science studies in India, whatever that is given to us, we really take it as information and produce it back and get good marks. But when we are not allowed to think much, rather to think outside the classroom, yes, marks are important with the way we moving forward in India. But at the same time, the passionate individuals like you are interested in science must go to the library, must have a discussion, must take more time to really think and then put it forward your ideas. That is where more innovation will happen, more of thinking will happen. Definitely, the Science Day that we are celebrating today will be very meaningful. So let us, my dear friends, those of us who are here in this room, can now think in a different way to encourage the students into science, and the students also, whatever that you learn, that you can integrate your subject learning into research papers and publications, and that's where we can innovate and bring something forth to the society. Father Leo worked in the lab, but always thought of taking that lab activity to the land. And that is where his work is a great achievement at St. Aloysius. We need to do that work. Whatever we do in the lab, that has to be transferred to the land and to the society, and the society benefits at large, and we together celebrate this Science Day. I would like to thank our guests today, Professor Jayakar Bandari and also Professor Vidya Shetty for their inspiring messages today, and the faculties over here, the deans of physical sciences, the life sciences and the faculty, and the School of Engineering for celebrating this National Science Day at St. Aloysius. Thank you. Wish you all the best. God bless us.
Respected Vice Chancellor, on behalf of everybody present here, we express our sincere thanks for your valuable presidential remarks. Your guidance and perspective will continue to inspire all of us in our pursuit for knowledge, innovation, and scientific excellence. As we've come to the end of this official program, it is time to express our heartfelt gratitude to all those who have contributed to its success. Every event becomes meaningful because of the efforts, guidance, and support of many individuals working behind the scenes. To formally convey our appreciation, I now have the privilege of inviting Dr. Geeta Pinto, Associate Dean from the School of Engineering, to deliver the vote of thanks.
A very pleasant morning to everyone present here. First and foremost, we express our sincere gratitude to Honorable Vice Chancellor, Reverend Dr. Praveen Martis SJ, for his constant encouragement and visionary leadership that strengthens scientific culture in our institution. We express our deepest gratitude to our chief guest, Professor M. Jayakar Bandari, Principal and Professor of Botany, Dr. P. Dayanand Pai P. Satish Pai Government First Grade College, Car Street, Mangaluru. Sir, your insightful address and encouragement given to all women and girls to take up leadership roles in science streams has truly enriched this gathering. Thank you, sir. We are grateful for your valuable time and motivating words. As a token of love and gratitude, I request Reverend Father Praveen Martis, the Vice Chancellor, to present a memento to Professor Jayakar Bandari. We extend our heartfelt thanks to our guest of honor, Professor Vidya Shetty K, Professor, Department of Chemical Engineering, NITK Surathkal. Madam, your inspiring thoughts on the role of women in science and nation building have deeply resonated with all of us. I'm sure your life story motivated all of us. You have strongly urged all women and girls here to come out of their internal conflicts. Thank you, madam, for inspiring. As a token of love and gratitude, I request Reverend Dr. Melvin Jikunna, Pro Vice Chancellor, to present a memento to Professor Vidya Shetty. We acknowledge with gratitude the presence of Pro Vice Chancellor, Reverend Dr. Melvin Jikunna, an eminent professor of botany whose leadership inspires research and innovation. Thank you, Father. We also thank Dr. Ronald Nazareth, Registrar, for your inspirational message. I'm sure your message will inspire all our students to imagine the science before the creation. Thank you, sir. We extend our appreciation to Dr. Asha Abraham, Director, LCRI Block, Dr. Aruna Kalkur, Director, Xavier Block and Dean, School of Physical Sciences, Dr. Ruben S., Dean, School of Engineering, Dr. Renita D'Souza, Dean, School of Life Sciences. Your presence and encouragement mean a great deal to us. Thank you. A special note of gratitude to Dr. Jyoti Miranda and team for meticulously organizing this meaningful program and ensuring its grand success. Thank you, Madam. We also thank all faculty members, researchers, students, technical staff, media team, and volunteers whose collective efforts made this event memorable. Finally, a heartfelt thanks to each one of you who joined us today to celebrate science and honor the invaluable contributions of women in science. Let us contribute to nurture curiosity, innovation, and inclusivity as we move towards a stronger and self-reliant Vikasit Bharat. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. May I now request all present here to please rise for the national anthem.
भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 जय